What's up guys, this is Candy from HJL Auto Parts Taiwan. In today's video, I'm going to talk about the ignition coil problems of Hyundai Elantra. You may have the similar questions just like many other car drivers do. Example, how often do ignition coils need to be replaced? What are the bad ignition coil symptoms? Can vehicles still run with a problem ignition coil? Especially if you have the Hyundai Elantra from 2011 to 2017. Keep on watching, as I'm going to review all the common symptoms to signal you to replace the coils with the new ones. 2017 Hyundai Elantra has common ignition coil problems. The regular and periodically car maintenance check is the best way to better car performance and longer the car life. Some car makers recommend to replace the ignition coil with interval time 100,000 miles. Take 2017 Hyundai Elantra as example. Quite a few car owners has common issue to fix problem ignition at around 10,000 to 50,000 miles. Moreover, you should also check the engine oil, filters, and ignition coils, as they are most common parts needs to be replaced. Have you ever experienced that your car suddenly starts to shudder under acceleration? The experienced mechanic immediately had the idea what the problem was with the situation. The coil just went dead. Then your next question will be, can I drive with a faulty coil pack? The experienced mechanic immediately will answer you, yes, but not advised. Because driving with a failed coil pack would damage other parts of the engine. So, I want to show you the 6 common bad ignition coil symptoms. If you sense any of these coil symptoms, you will know it's time to check your ignition coils. Ignition coils are crucial engine management components to deliver high voltage electricity to the spark plugs. You can check out our before video to understand more ignition coils function. With it work properly, we can start the engine. Basically, ignition coils is stable with long lifetime, but still can be failed due to variety reasons. When ignition coils goes bad, below symptoms will start to show up on vehicles. Number 1. Engine misfiring. Bad ignition coil made the engine sound like coughing when started. Obvious vibration appears when it is idling, and you will feel jerking or spitting when driving at high speeds. Number 2. Check engine light on. If you have diagnostic tool connection to OBD, the codes below will reveal you the details. For example, the P0301 means cylinder 1 misfire detected. P0302 means cylinder 2 misfire detected. And the P0308 means the cylinder 8 misfire detecting. Next is our symptom number 3, vehicle stalling. Ignition coil failure may send irregular spark to the plugs and cause car stalling. When situation goes worse, the car even can't start. Number 4. Hard to start engine. A malfunction ignition coil will cause engine owning crank without sparks inside the cylinder. This symptom will occur especially obviously when your car equipped with single coil. Number 5. Poor gas mileage performance. The gas mileage will begin to reduce when coils go bad. Number 6. Increased emission. Less mileage will be when ignition coils go wrong, and the amount of unburned fuel getting into catalytic converter will cause the emission increase. With the above circumstance, it is not fun to drive it at all. Luckily, most of the cases are not big work to replace the ignition coils. The earlier you fix the bad ignition coil problem, the less you will need to spend on repairing. As we know, the prevention counts more than cure, So next part, we are going to talk about the maintenance tips to look after your ignition coils. You may wonder that what's the cause to kill an ignition coil? Well, the ignition coil itself has no moving parts that will fail or wear out. The only moving parts inside the ignition coil are the magnetic fields and the electrons between coils wire and the metal plates cast inside the epoxy resin. The features of the epoxy resin is helping coil to resist the high temperature and protect the metal plates inside it. So, being mounted in one of the most vibration-prone inside the dirty engine, if the epoxy resin quality is not good, it don't take long for a coil, then the coil will fail. The other reason to cause the coil failure is not the ignition coil itself, but the gap between the electrodes on the spark plug. With the increase of the electrodes gap, it requires more amount of engine to create a spark. Why? Because the larger the spark gap, the more work the secondary and primary coils will have to work. Following the harder work the coils have to work, it will generate more heat. And this heat will cause the epoxy to crack and fail to protect the internal components. If the epoxy has cracks, the moisture and contaminants get into the coils. Now, since we already know what's the reason to cause the ignition coil failure, next, I'm going to show you the maintenance tips to longer your ignition coil lifetime. All you have to do is following our 3-step checking guide. Step number 1. Proper installation. As we just mentioned, the gap is the main reason to cause the coil failure. Make sure you have the experienced mechanics to help you install the ignition coils and plugs. Make sure the ends of the coils are properly seated in the correct position. Make sure the coils are installed under a deactivated and cooled engine, as the warm engine will leave the new installed coil components wrapped and damaged. Either the spark plug gap or the incorrect coil's position will lead to an energy loss to ignite the spark plug. And this will require coils to work harder to generate more energy for spark plug. Step number 2. Regular cleaning. The contamination on the spark plug and ignition coils is another main cause of the failure. The building of oil, dirt, carbon, or metal flakes from the engine will damage the internal components and decrease the ignition coil performance. So, you can inspect the connectors of coils and plugs to make sure they are clean and without oil, dust, or any built-up contaminant. Use the dry cloths or scrapers to remove the contaminant. Remember to avoid the abrasive industrial cleaning chemicals, as they may do some damage to the components. Step number 3. Regular checking. Once again, the regular and periodical car check is always the core guide to follow. Build up the habit to check your vehicle periodically with the engine oil, transmission oil, water, ignition coil, and spark plugs gap and air filter. Easy checking change can make sure you find out the potential problems earlier and let your technician have time to fix it. There is one more tip I want to tell you here, is to pay attention on how well your car is driving. Try to be a gentle car driver, as the harsh big step on the acceleration or brake will affect the car performance. Also, please consider of what you put into your car. If you always feed your car with cheap stuff, no matter it is the oil, fluid, fuel, or car parts, the car will end up with disaster problems. So, have the regular check, regular maintenance, find a credible skilled mechanic, and use quality products. This is the best way to better the car performance and longer the car lifetime. Remember, how you treat your car, how the car will feedback to you. How about you? Do you have your own tip and trick to maintain the ignition coils and spark plugs? Leave comments below and to share with us. You know I'm always happy can hear from you guys. Alright guys, I thanks for your watching as always, and I wish you all the best with your life and your family. I will see you very soon next time. Bye.